Hi, I'd like to welcome you to this short video, The 7 Big Fat Lies About Weight Loss. Quick introduction about myself. My name is Alan Tobert. I've been involved in the health and fitness industry in various ways as a sports scientist for over 22 years now. During that time, I've trained and consulted with Olympic athletes, professional sports people, actors and the general public. This is not a brag, but simply a way to say that I have walked my talk. I've worked with live subjects with varying goals, and also to ensure you there's a level of trust and credibility here with what I'm about to say, because this video will prove controversial. I mean, one thing's for sure, I know what it takes to control your weight. I know how frustrating this whole process can be, and I know what will cause you setbacks. One thing I'd like to say from the outset is this: please open your mind to the fact that what you've seen and heard so far about weight loss is probably, in fact, it will be wrong. Right, here we go. Big fat lie number 1. You must exercise more. Let me get one thing straight from the outset. I believe exercise is the best thing since sliced bread for overall health and fitness, and something that's close to my heart. But for fat loss, it's simply overrated. Yes, exercise burns calories, but not a lot. Yes, after exercise your metabolism is higher, so you burn more calories, but not a lot. And yes, if you have more lean muscle, you will burn more calories at rest, but not a lot. The issue here is that moderate exercise, for example 2 to 3 times a week for 30 minutes, is simply not enough to significantly impact the energy balance equation. What I'm really getting at here is that moderate exercise does not significantly make a difference for fat burning. You really need to be doing 1 to 2 hours daily to see the effect, but come on, we've got jobs to go to, we've got families to spend time with. The saddest part of all in this is that many people take up exercise for the sole aim of losing weight. When they see no real changes, they give up and miss out on all the wonderful benefits of improved health and vitality. Normal weight individuals don't spend hours in the gym, so why should you? Let me leave you with one final word on this subject. If exercise and activity were as effective as some experts think, wouldn't you expect builders and removals people to generally be thinner in life than computer operators and accountants? I think you'd agree this is not the case. Big fat lie number 2, you must eat less. This generally means you must restrict your calorie intake and therefore go on a diet. Recently this word is getting bad press and a taboo label, so the dieting companies don't refer to this anymore and use lifestyle changes to hide the fact that they are still diet companies. Let me define this for you. If somebody else is influencing you for when, what or how much food you eat, you are on a diet, period. Whenever I meet somebody and they say they're on a low-calorie diet, I tend to amuse them by asking, why do you want to put on weight? This instantly puts them on some defensive tact, confirming that this so-called diet has worked for XYZ celebrity and everyone they know is using it. There are individuals out there who've been dieting for decades and have simply gained more weight than what they would have if they had left dieting alone and not even started a diet. This is really sad, but just shows you how powerful these marketing people are when the next breakthrough diet comes on the market. What really makes me angry is the commercial dieting industry then blames you for your lack of self-discipline and not their diet. This is shameful and should be outlawed. Calorie restriction in all its weird and wonderful forms often forces you to pick a fight with your own body because it's too extreme. You know, you need to go as low as 1200 calories per day, etc. It's going to get messy, and there's usually only one winner that forces you to come off that diet and eat afterwards. Initially, this instant weight loss is water and is one of the biggest cons sold by the industry for fast results. I mean, I could go into a sauna today and lose 10 pounds. Study after study after study has shown the weight returns, sometimes more, sometimes a lot more. Food, just like sleep, thirst, etc., are fundamentals to your body, and if there's not sufficient to satisfy your needs, then the body will fight you, emotionally, physically, and psychologically to get what it wants. And your body will go into what is known as real or imagined starvation response. So your body's physiology will change. Your body will change its hormone balance, which prevents fat releasing and fat burning enzymes doing their job. For example, lipases, leptin, T3. Your body will start using your muscles as energy, so you're literally cannibalizing your own lean tissue. Your natural eating signals become screwed up, meaning your appetite will rage out of control in your hypothalamus, and this approach can cause binge eating when you come off the diet. Some stats I picked up from the US recently. At any one time, there are more than 50 million people on a weight loss diet in the US alone. Study after study shows that 95 to 98% of weight loss diets fail. And there are estimates that as many as 75% of customers are repeat customers. Please stop dieting. Big fat line number 3. You must eat healthier. I mean, this is certainly the focus of newer approaches to fighting obesity, and not calorie restriction dieting. This misses the point at such a fundamental level it infuriates me, and these are supposed to be the experts. It is not what you eat, it is how much. What you eat has absolutely no effect on weight management. Forget the myth that fattening foods cause more weight gain than nutritious foods. It is simply not the case. The sources of these calories make no difference. All that matters are the number of calories. Look, 1,000 calories from carrots is the same as 1,000 calories from low-fat ice cream. Just like a ton of feathers equals a ton of lead. You can become obese eating 5 a day. You can lose weight eating junk. Sure, eating healthier will make you a healthier person, and there are fundamental nutritional rules to follow to ensure this. Food and the whole process of preparation and eating is to be enjoyed, but this is not a second career. Let me revisit a key point here, and if you only take one thing away from this video, it's this. You must break apart, decouple weight loss with health and fitness. As I've already said, exercise is for improved fitness and overall health. Nutrition is for improved health. But if your goal is permanent and substantial fat loss, like I think it is, you must not get confused here, because many approaches are putting all three in the same basket, and this is where all the confusion and misinformation is coming from. Does that make sense? Big fat line number 4, using the weighing scales and BMI to measure success. Body mass index, or BMI, has been around for quite a while now. Let's get something straight. BMI was originally designed for clinicians and researchers to use as a tool to cross-compare studies. It was not designed as a definitive guide to brand you obese or not. If you want a simple tool to use as feedback for fat loss, just measure your chest girth and stomach girth and look for changes on a 3-monthly basis. But remember to repeat the process 3 times to take an average each time you do this. As for the weighing scales, throw them away. Please do not have any expectations when you jump on your weighing scales, as it will drive you to despair. There are just too many variables going on at any one time to get objective readings from your weighing scales. For example, at any time, how much water you're holding, the weight of food in your stomach, the weight of waste products in your bladder and bowels, your scales inconsistency, your unique body composition. And also, I'm sure you've read before, there are varying different types of body. Endomorphs, who are pear-shaped, ectomorphs, who are taller, naturally tall and thin, mesomorphs, naturally athletic. All of this equals inconsistent measurements. I mean, I wish the experts running fat clubs would open their minds to this and educate their members at their weigh-ins. Big fat line number 5, incomplete understanding of the law of thermodynamics. First off, everything you eat is broken down into just 4 parts. Glucose, amino acids, free fatty acids, and glycerol. If there is more of these than your body requires, over time you will gain body fat. If there's less, then your body will use fat reserves and muscle to fill the deficit. A calorie will always be a calorie. And many experts I see teach you about the law of thermodynamics, and it's something that I see in a lot of website advice. They say you have to consciously balance your energy intake and calories burned off So each day you consume 500 calories less, and after a week that equates to 3,500 calories, which equals 1 pound of body fat. Sounds like good advice. After all, a scientific law is a law. Your body is an amazingly intricate and complex system, far more so than a car with petrol stores, which is something I see used as an analogy by some experts. But here's the problem. Even the experts in a physiology lab using a calorimeter cannot be accurately measuring this energy balance equation with the human body. And the task of consciously measuring this input and output equation, unless you can be accurate, I'm sorry, but this is just a complete waste of time. I mean, how on earth can you decrease your calorific input by 20% when you cannot even be accurate? And it sounds like good advice, I agree. Let me take you through this argument. I mean, right now in your hand is a chocolate bar that has, according to the wrapper, 189 calories that you will eat now, okay? It's been consumed, so therefore you have put 189 calories into your body. But the problem comes with what your unique body does with these variables. Your normal resting metabolic rate, the percentage of the chocolate bar which is digested and absorbed into your cells, your unique body's efficiency in metabolizing the absorbed part of the bar. You could be on some medications and they could have an effect. Your stress levels at that moment, the thermic effect, in other words, you burn calories even through the process of eating. What are your levels of nervousness and fidgetiness? What are your activity levels that day? And also, your metabolic rate may be varied because you're on some kind of diet or you may be ill at the moment. So I need to ask you again, does that bar of chocolate containing 189 calories still become 189 calories absorbed into your cells once in your body? The answer is not quite, meaning inaccurate measurements, and the same goes for all the food that goes into your unique body. Big fat lie number 6. Emotional eating is stopping any chance that you have. Research shows that pretty much every one of us eats for emotional reasons, happy or sad. I mean, congratulations, you're human. However, here's the problem. For normal weight people, it's presented as cute or funny, but for overweight individuals, it's diagnosed as a full-blown psychological disorder. Study after study after study has clearly shown that the psychological makeup of someone who is overweight is no different to that of a normal weight person. Let me put this another way. Overweight people generally don't overeat because they hurt inside. They hurt, both emotionally and physically, because they are trying not to eat. What this means is that much of the overeating diagnosed as emotional eating is actually the natural outcome of food restriction. If your body needs food, it will take extreme measures to get food. Make sense? Emotional eating does exist, but you need to ask yourself if your overeating is not just due to starving yourself in the first place by following some calorie-reduced dust diet and you are just plain hungry. Please answer that before you start digging deeper for emotional and psychological answers. Big fat lie number 7. The solution to your weight problem lies with an outside influence. As touched upon earlier in this video, there's an avalanche of information out there that influences on what, when and how much to eat. It's probable over time that you've been looking for a solution to your problem and paid attention to many outside influences. I mean, on a daily basis, you're subjected to advertising by the food industry, scientific research and expert advice from the internet, newspapers and magazines, tips from your fellow workers, friends and family, media stereotypes of ideal body size. The sad thing really is, you've got a food industry trying to convince you to eat their products, and a media and weight loss industry focusing on you being thin. I mean, it's amazing how you have any chance of not taking their advice, but you must resist. There's lots of people fighting for your attention. Look, the advertising and marketing people are very, very good at influencing you to buy their products. They understand what motivates you to buy.